Welcome to the Wedding Planning 101, where I'm going to show you how to plan your wedding like a pro. If you just got engaged and you're thinking, okay, now what? Or if you're already knee-deep in wedding planning and feeling completely overwhelmed, this podcast is for you. If you're ready for insider tips, actionable advice, and real talk from someone who's been behind the scenes of over 500 weddings, then let's get planning. Hey there, and welcome to episode 7. If you've been following along, you've done some incredible work. You've set priorities, built your budget, worked through the emotional stuff, planned your timeline, learned to delegate, and created your visual mood board. But now comes one of my favorite parts, making your wedding uniquely yours. Because here's the thing. You can have a beautiful, Pinterest-perfect wedding that looks exactly like everyone else's. Or you can have a wedding that when people walk in, they immediately say, "This is so them." Today, we're going to talk about how to think beyond Pinterest and traditional wedding must-haves to incorporate things that actually reflect who you are as a couple. Not what weddings are supposed to look like, not what everyone else is doing, what feels authentic to you. So let's grab your workbook and let's get planning. I often get asked, Amanda, what's new in weddings that you're seeing that's really cool? And my response is always, well, what makes you guys cool? What do you like to do? Because the coolest weddings aren't about following trends. They're about taking what you already love and weaving it into your celebration. So let me ask you this. You've got a weekend alone together. You don't have any obligations, no work, no responsibilities. What do you like to do? Do you love hiking or are you into board games? Maybe you're foodies who love trying new restaurants. Or you're homebodies who binge watch TV shows together. Maybe you travel whenever you get the chance. Whatever it is that you actually do and love, that's what should be reflected in your wedding. Let me give you some examples. You love fireworks. Check if your venue allows them. If yes, end the night with sparklers or a small fireworks display. That's way more memorable than a traditional send-off when fireworks are your thing. Here's another one I love. You love to travel? Why not make your table numbers all the cool places you visited? Table 1 is your first trip together. Table 2 is that amazing vacation from year 2. Include photos from each location and little stories about why that place was meaningful. Or integrate your dog or cat into the day. I've seen couples have their dogs walk down the aisle with them. Sign the marriage certificate with a paw print, or include photos of their pets throughout the venue. If your fur baby is a huge part of your life, they should be a part of your wedding. The point is, look at your actual life. Look at what you actually love. And ask yourself, how can you bring that into your wedding day? My partner and I hold hands all the time, like constantly. He holds my hand while we're sleeping, and it's such a cute thing. I am all about it. Sweetest thing ever. So when I saw this idea on Instagram about doing a hand-holding cast in plaster that guests could pick foam off throughout the event, I thought, that's so us. It's not a traditional wedding activity. It's not something you see on every Pinterest board, but it would be meaningful to us because hand-holding is such a signature part of our relationship. That's what I'm talking about. What are the little things that define your relationship? The inside jokes, the habits, the quirks that your friends and family would immediately recognize as so you. How can you incorporate those things into your wedding day in a way that feels authentic and tells your story? Okay, let's get tactical. There are specific elements of your wedding where you can really infuse your personality, and I want to walk you through some of them. First up, signage. Now, here's the thing about signage. You don't need to go overboard with it. I've been to weddings where there are signs everywhere, and honestly, it's overkill. But your welcome sign, that's a functional piece that guests actually interact with. And most couples spend 40 to 60 or more on a welcome sign that they use for maybe 30 minutes as guests arrive. And then what? It sits in a closet? So here's what I recommend. Make it worth the spend. Use your welcome sign as your guest book. Have guests sign it when they arrive. Then you can hang it in your home. Somewhere you'll see it regularly. It becomes a functional decor piece that reminds you of your day. Or you can put your table assignments on the back of the welcome sign. That way it serves two purposes. And honestly, the likelihood of you opening up a traditional guest book and reading those little messages later is pretty slim. Unless you've got Polaroid photos or something visual that makes it more engaging. But a sign hanging on a wall? You'll see that all the time. You can also personalize your signage with quotes that are meaningful for you, inside jokes, or even your own handwriting instead of standard calligraphy fonts. The point is, don't just do signage because that's what weddings have. You can do it in a way that's functional and reflects who you are. Let's talk about another wedding tradition that you can make uniquely yours. The whole clink your glass to make the couple kiss thing. Now, if you hate that tradition, you don't have to do it at all. But if you want to do something interactive with your guests, make it reflect your interests. Are you into trivia? Put Trivial Pursuit cards on the table and tell guests that someone has to answer a question correctly before you'll kiss. Or make up your own trivia questions about your relationship. How did we meet? What was our first trip together? Guests have to get it right to earn the kiss. Do you love music? How about having guests sing you a song? At least one verse to get you to kiss. You'll get some hilarious performances, and it's way more entertaining than just clinking glasses over and over again. One example that stands out in my mind was one of my very good friend's weddings. And in order to get the couple to kiss, you had to kiss your date or someone else in the group. You can only imagine how quickly that got out of hand and how much laughter there was. Are you into games? Maybe guests have to complete a quick charades challenge or tell you their best joke. See how this works? You're taking a traditional wedding element and making it specific to you. It's more fun, it's more memorable, and actually reflects your personality. Here's something else I want you to think about. What weddings have you been to that have really stuck with you? Not just weddings that looked pretty or had good food, though those things matter, but what was something super memorable that really made an impact on you as a guest? Was it the couple who wrote handwritten notes at each place setting? What about the wedding where they did a group activity during cocktail hour? Or the couple who had a dessert bar instead of a traditional cake? Maybe it was the unique live music entertainment or a meaningful ceremony ritual. Whatever it was, ask yourself, why did that resonate with me? And how can I do something similar in my own way? You're not copying, you're adapting. You're taking an idea that worked and making it specific to your relationship and your wedding. I encourage you to think back on every wedding you've been to and identify those moments that made you feel something. Those are the moments you want to create for your own guests. All right, here's something really important for you to hear. If there's anything you feel you have to do at your wedding, you actually don't. Let me say that again. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to do the shoe game if you think it's corny. You don't have to do a first dance if you're not dancers. You don't have to throw the bouquet if you think it's outdated. You don't have to have a garter toss. Please let that tradition die. You don't have to have a cake and cut it if you'd rather have donuts or pie. You don't have to do parent dances if that feels awkward or complicated in your family dynamic. The difference between a wedding that feels like yours and a wedding that feels generic is understanding the difference between things you feel like you have to do versus things that are uniquely you. Let's make a list of all the traditional wedding elements you're assuming you need to include. Then, let's go through that list and ask yourselves, why are we doing this? Is it because we genuinely want to, or is it because we think we're supposed to? If the answer is because we're supposed to, cross it off the list. Your wedding should only include things that either 1, are meaningful to you, 2, serve a functional purpose, like feeding people, 3, create an experience you want your guests to have. Everything else, optional. And the space you create by eliminating the stuff you don't care about, that's where you get to add the stuff that is uniquely yours. Let me throw out a few more ideas to get your creative juices flowing. Your ceremony. This is one of the most important parts of the day, and it should absolutely reflect you. Write your own vows. Include a reading from a book or a poem that's meaningful to you, not just the standard romantic poetry everyone uses. Include a ritual that has a cultural or personal significance. I absolutely love it when a friend or family member performs the ceremony and has the legal officiant there to sign the marriage license. Your music. No need to just pick songs because they're popular. Choose songs that mean something to you. Your processional is a song from a movie you both love. Your first dance is the song that was playing when you first met. You have a playlist during dinner that's all your favorite artists. Your food. If you're foodies, make the food a priority. Do a tasting menu instead of a plated dinner. Have food trucks. Serve your favorite comfort foods instead of fancy catering. Incorporate dishes that reflect your cultural backgrounds. Your guest favors. Instead of generic favors that people leave on tables and forget to take home, give them something that represents you. Or skip the favors altogether and make a donation to a charity that's meaningful to you. And your late night snacks. Instead of the generic pizza or fries, what late night food do you actually crave? Tacos? Sliders from your favorite burger place? Your grandma's cookies? An ice cream sundae bar? After an evening of indulging, what do you reach for in the cupboards or fridge at home? Do that. The possibilities are endless. You're only limited by your imagination and maybe what your venue will allow. Here's one more thing I want to encourage you to do. Find ways to tell your love story throughout the day. It could be a timeline of your relationship displayed somewhere at the venue, photos from different stages of your relationship, incorporating elements from your first date or the place where you got engaged. You could do a how we met sign, including meaningful dates, not just your wedding date, but the date you met, the date of your first kiss, the date you got engaged. You could even create a signature cocktail named after an inside joke or your pet. The point is, your wedding is a celebration of your love story. So tell that story. Don't be shy about it. This is your day to celebrate what makes you as a couple special. I want to add one more caveat to all of this. There is a difference between personal touches that are meaningful and personal touches that are performative. What do I mean by that? Performative personalization is when you add something because you think it makes you look interesting or unique. not because it actually matters to you. It's doing something just to be different, not because it reflects who you are. Personal touches should feel natural. They should make your friends and family say, "Of course they did that," not, "That's random. Why did they do that?" So, as you're thinking about how to personalize your wedding, keep asking yourselves, is this authentic? Or are we just trying to be different for the sake of being different? If it's authentic, do it. If it's performative, skip it. All right, here's your homework after this episode. First, in your workbook, complete the What Makes Us Us exercise. List out the things you actually do and love as a couple: your hobbies, your habits, your quirks, your relationship signatures. Second, go through the traditional wedding elements audit and decide what you're keeping, skipping, or modifying. Be honest about what matters to you and what you're proudly leaving out. Third, identify your top 5 personalization priorities. Not 20 ideas, your top 5. The ones that matter most and that you'll actually execute. Fourth, run each idea through that authenticity check. Is this genuinely us, or are we doing it to seem different? Again, if it's performative, cut it. And finally, give yourselves permission to be different. Your wedding doesn't have to look like everyone else's. In fact, it shouldn't. Now in our final episode 8, we're going to bring everything together and talk about planning your wedding like a pro using the full Wedding Planning 101 workbook. This is where all the work you've done in episodes 1 through 7 come together in a complete, organized planning system. Until then, have fun getting creative. Think about what makes you special. And remember, the best weddings are the ones that feel like you. I'm Amanda Jerome, and I'll see you for the finale in episode 8. Happy planning. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Wedding Planning 101. If you're ready to take the stress out of wedding planning and get organized like a pro, head to weddingplanning101.com to get your Wedding Planning 101 workbook. Inside, you'll find everything we talked about in this episode, plus templates, checklists, budget trackers, and all the tools you need to plan your wedding day with confidence so you can actually enjoy the day when it gets here. Your dream day is waiting, and it starts with planning it like a pro.